Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT network, as well as my show, Broncos Breakdown, on YouTube. Just look for the symbol's not up there right now. But anyways, just look for Broncos Breakdown, this guy, and on YouTube, and you can catch it there. You can catch it on MHRT network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments as well as yours in the chat. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, I'm trying out something new in the presentation. As you can tell, down below over here, it usually has my name. It now says subscribe. The reason why is because we now have, I'm now going to put this up. I want to get your guys' feedback. Tell me if you like it, you don't like it. You want me to go back to the way it was before, which is basically this with my name here and my logo up here. You want me to go back to that? That's fine. But here is the new layout for at least this week. And let me get your input during the show or in the comments after the show when you're unable to watch it live. Here is the new layout. There you go. And what that does is up at the top, of course, it gives you the list of the topics that I have. So that way you guys can see what's coming. It gives you an idea what the show's about. So let me know if you like that. Okay. And also when it comes to the very first topic, something like this will pop up. So there you go. So now you've got the picture of the person and what the topic nutshell is. Okay. So let me get out of here real quick on that one. So before I get into all that, hope everybody had a fantastic week. This is the last Friday in the month of July, 2024. I can't believe it. My goodness, man. My goodness. Had a fantastic weekend last weekend for my birthday. My birthday was on Saturday. Yeah, my birthday was on Sunday. Today's 26. Yeah, my birthday was on Sunday. What am I thinking? Birthday was on Sunday. Had a fantastic time with my son, daughter-in-law, and grandkids on Saturday. Nice dinner. Then my nieces took me out on Sunday. Had a fantastic time. So it was all good. All right, guys. Okay, so let's get to the very first topic. You look at the very top right of your screen, and it says Lawrence Taylor facing charges. Here we go. This is one of two. You got it. Jackass of the week. Okay. Lawrence Taylor was charged in Florida with failing to update his address on the state's sex offender registry. Uh-oh. You can't do that. You can't change addresses or whatever the situation is where you move or the city, not the state, but the city changes addresses. That happened when I was a kid because they changed the street name, that kind of thing. So we stayed at the same house, but the address was different. So, I mean, come on, man. You're registered as a sex offender. You know what you need to do. That's the whole thing. But obviously he didn't do it. Let me continue. Lawrence turned himself in last Wednesday and was released without bail. Okay. All right. In 2011, he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor sexual misconduct and sentenced to 6 years probation and ordered to register as a sex offender. Okay. That's the law. That's what you got to do. This isn't the first time, though. This is the second time he has been charged for not updating his address. What the heck? Didn't you learn it the first time? Didn't you learn the lesson? Obviously not. I just don't understand what's up with these athletes. They just flat out they just don't get it. Absolutely don't get it. I mean, seriously? Okay, I can understand if you kind of screwed up the first time and, oh yeah, you know what? I screwed up. Okay, I made a mistake. I didn't give you the address. Okay, so that's my bad. But you do it a second time? Come on, man. Second time. Now this is starting to become a pattern. This is starting to become something that you're doing constantly. Well, at least twice. in the last, what do you say, 2000, I believe it was 2011. That's only 3 years ago. So you done it twice in 3 years? Come on, man. Seriously? No, these athletes, I'll tell you what, man, these athletes need some serious counseling or something, because they just don't seem to get it. They just don't seem to get it. All right. Okay. Moving on to the second topic. Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine. Now, both of these guys are good. They were really good last year. Now, Javonte Williams is coming off an injury, and I'll get into that. Obviously, we know that. ACL, MCL, and PCL or something like that. But he just tore his knee up completely. Okay? And Perine, he did really, really well last year. But the Broncos have two younger guys. The NFL is a young NFL team. I mean, not NFL team. It's a young league is what I mean. You know, I mean, once you start pushing age 30, you're not long. You're not long for the NFL. Not for long. That's what the NFL stands. Not for long. And when you start approaching 30, 29, 30, 31, well, unless you're Tom Brady and then you play to like 90. But you know, he's an exception. But in any case, what I'm trying to say is this. You know, if you have younger, quote, stallions in the you know, the horse stall, you know, being Broncos, you know, you're going to go with them. They have fresh legs. They're younger. They're not injured, hopefully. So most teams are going to go that route. Most teams are going to go that route. So it comes down to Samaje Perine and Javonte Williams vying for one running back spot. Here it is. Denver has two young running backs that they like, which leaves Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine fighting for one roster spot per Troy Rank of Denver. Okay? So if there's only one spot, do we trust Javonte Williams? Well, it's not about yesteryear. I mean, to a degree it is, because yes, he was seriously injured. So yes, it does have some kind of effect on yesteryear. But last year he didn't do too bad. He did fall off, but he didn't do all that badly. Now, Perine, on the other hand, he was really, I like this kid. I like his kid. But there's only one spot. Who does Broncos country want? Do they want Williams? Do they want Perine? I'm going to go back to the same answer I've been giving for the quarterback position. I don't care who it is, as long as we win games. Start playing better. If it's Perine, fantastic. If it's Javonte Williams, great. I don't care who it is. Let's just get some wins. Period. That's what I'm after. I'm after wins. I'm not advocating for who should be there. But hey, it's not my decision anyways. They could care less what I think. Honestly, they really could. So I just want the best person back there. Period. All right, let me continue. Denver is expected to keep Jaleel McLaughlin, great guy, as well as drafted Audric Esteby. Okay, yeah, we drafted him. He's a young guy. He's obviously a rookie. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, rookies shine all the time. So those two, yes, I say absolutely, no doubt about it. Where does Williams and where does Perine fall? Do the Broncos dare keep 4 running backs? I don't think so. Most teams don't. Some have. Most teams don't. I'm not advocating that they do keep both. What I am advocating is keep the best players, period. We're not there. I'm not there. I'm definitely not there seeing the practices, the workouts, what's behind closed doors that the coaches see. I don't see that. I just have to trust that the Broncos brass, head coach, coordinators, George Payton, ownership, whatever, that we get the best players that this team needs. not popularity, not persuasion from the fan base or whatever, which I happen to be part of course, but not persuasion of the fan base. No, you got to do what you have to do as a head coach and an evaluator of talent. And, that's what it boils down to. And that's what it's got to be, period. Got to be. All right, let me continue. Let's see. Williams is 1 year removed from his knee injuries, but fell off from his rookie year. Very true. Pirine played well last season and has the most veteran experience in Denver's running back room. That is also true. That is also true. Do you stick with Pirine because he has the experience? Or do you stick with Javonte Williams? Or both? Or dare I say neither? I don't know. I don't know what direction it's going to go. Pirine is heading, Pirine is heading into his age of 29 years old this season. There's that number again. Well, I was telling you, Pirine is older than Williams, but if Williams can't sustain his ability to do what he did in his rookie year, and then when he got injured, he fell off last year. If he can't regain that and get that back, does Pirine stick around at age 29? That's quite up there for a running back who takes punishment after punishment on almost every play. Does Williams supplant Pirine? Does he win that third spot? I don't know. Again, I don't care who it is. I just want us to have the best players on the field come game one against Seattle, no matter who that is. I've said this over and over and over until I'm blue in the face, and I will continue to say it. Continue to say it. It's just, Williams is younger, but can he get back to the form that he was? I mean, I'll even take 75% of what he was in his rookie year. Because, he was knocking people over like they were pinball, just knocking them down, like they were bowling pins or something. And he was the wrecking ball, so to speak. And he wreaked havoc. He absolutely wreaked havoc. So I would rather have Williams. Absolutely, I'd rather have Williams. I just don't know if he can get back to anywhere close like he was in his rookie season. All right, let's go to the chat. Madungus Creepy chimes in and says Williams has more upside. Okay, you're right. He does. He's younger. He has more upside. But I'll tell you what, to me, Madungus, it all comes down to his ability to get back or semi-back close to what he was in his rookie year. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I hope so. I want it to be because he was amazing in his rookie year. But I don't know. I don't know. I love the upside of Williams. I love the ability to not go down on one hit after one hit, but just keeps on plowing over people. I love that. But can his knee take it? Can those hits on that repaired knee take it? I don't know. We won't know until we see him on the field. And of course, we're going to see him in preseason. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, if he stays on the team, well, then obviously we'll definitely see it during game time. I just wish him all the best. Absolutely wish him all the best. I got a nose itch or something. I don't know what the heck's going on. All right. My brother-in-law from Vegas, Rudy Torres, says, awesome setup, Mr. Bill. Looks so good. I appreciate it. Madungus Creevy put all that in on the right side and labeled, what the topics are. So that works out well. I like it. I like how it looks. Pretty nice and clean. It gives you guys a picture up in the top left, and I like it. I think it was good. Great job, Madungus. Speaking of Madungus, yes, whoever made that new layout's pretty amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. I made it. I'm just kidding, Madungus. Yeah, you are amazing, dude. Pretty good. Nice layout, man. Nice layout. Okay. Let's go to a former Bronco is retiring after 10 years in the NFL. That's right. Shaquil Barrett has called it quits. And ironically, it was right after he signed in March with a new team. All right? So here we go. Former Broncos linebacker Shaquil Barrett has decided to call it a career. This comes courtesy of Adam Schefter of ESPN. Barrett played 10 seasons after going undrafted. I'd forgotten about that. I'd forgotten that he's gone undrafted. But that's very true. And man, was he a big impact in the Broncos Super Bowl run. Absolutely. In 2015, 2016. It was just great play. Great play. Very instrumental on that defense. Absolutely. And congratulations to Shaquil Barrett, getting a Super Bowl ring and now retiring. Let me continue on. Barrett played 10 seasons after going undrafted in 2014. This past March, Barrett signed with the Miami Dolphins, but he decided to spend more time with his family than continue playing in the NFL. Congratulations once again, Shaquil Barrett. Congratulations on your retirement. You deserve it. Enjoy retirement. Enjoy your family. Enjoy that Super Bowl ring, brother, because you definitely earned it. Absolutely earned it. Once again, congratulations, Barrett. An amazing player for the Denver Broncos during his time with them. Absolutely loved it. Man, I look back at some of those players and of that Manning, Peyton Manning being on the Broncos and the teams that the Broncos had. Man, alive. Just great team, great chemistry. And Shaquil Barrett was part of that. So that's awesome. Totally awesome. Glad he got that. Glad he got that Super Bowl ring for sure. Okay. Let's go to three Bronco players now are on the physically unable to play list. That's not good. But one of them is a safety. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot to write what it down. Okay, anyways, let me go. The Denver Broncos have placed Drew Sanders, linebacker, Caden Stearns, and Ladarian Turner-Yell on the physically unable to perform list last Sunday. Now, Caden Stearns is a safety, and so is Turner-Yell. But they're both unable to play. Oh, by the way, who did the Broncos get rid of at safety? Why? I don't know why, because to me it's still stupid. But Justin Simmons, a safety, one of the best safeties the Broncos have ever had on in their existence, was let go. And I'll get into something about that in a little bit. But he was let go. And now Caden Stearns and Ladarian Turner-Yell are on the physically unable to perform list. Okay? Oh, I see. So we get rid of players, and then people just can't come back because they're injured and they just can't play. Well, let me continue. Each of the players are eligible to come back at any time during training camp, but only Stearns is close. Both Sanders and Turner-Yell sustained ACL injuries. That's not good. Stearns suffered a torn patellar tendon. Okay, that's not good either. But if he's close to coming back, that's great. But they still got rid of Justin Simmons, which is still, to me, unbelievable. I still can't process it in my head. And like I said, I'll get into a topic which deals with that. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Not at all. And I still don't understand where the Broncos are coming from and what they're doing, or what they did, I should say. But like I said, I will get into that. Okay, the first part, there's two parts that involve Sean Payton. This is the first one. The other one is a little bit down the road of the show, but this is the first one of Sean Payton. It says marking territory. Yep, he admits he was a little rough last year. That he came in, blazing guns and shooting from the hip and all that kind of stuff, all that kind of thing. That's a lot of times that's what happens. In different jobs that I've had, what has a tendency to happen is you get a new manager or a new supervisor or a new somebody, and they just want to go, guns blazing because they want to make a statement. Well, sometimes when you come on too hard, too fast, too soon, too aggressive, people get defensive. People don't like it. It affects them emotionally. It affects them personally. They take a grudge against that particular person. Well, Sean Payton kind of admitted that maybe he was a little that side of the fence. You think? Oh yeah, I absolutely think, no doubt. All right, let's go back to the chat. Let's see. Millwall says hi. I say hi. How you doing, Millwall? Nice to have you in the chat. Thank you so much. D-Rock, what is up? D-Rock in the chat says, Big Bill. I say, what's up, Big D-Rock? Absolutely, man. Glad to have you. Glad to have you in the chat, like always. For those of you who missed, I'm putting up something different, kind of informing you guys of what the topics are as we go down the list, kind of thing. So, kind of gives you an idea of what's coming. So, hopefully, you guys like it. Let me know if you do. I really do appreciate it. Also, please subscribe if you haven't. Means a lot. Not only to my channel on Broncos Breakdown on YouTube, but MHRT network as well. Subscribe to both. Costs you nothing except just a click of the mouse. All right. Before I go back to the next topic, Millwall says, I'm doing great. Thanks. That's good. Glad you're doing great. Glad you're doing great, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Since I was last in the chat, I moved to what? You moved to St. Louis. Where'd you move from? That's what I want to know. So you moved to St. Louis. Not only where did you move from, but what made you seek out St. Louis as opposed to where you were? I'm assuming maybe job, maybe family, something of that nature. But hey, if it works out for you, congratulations, Millwall. Really hope it's a move that you wanted to make, not basically necessarily had to make. All right. Great. First comment about second comment. My brother-in-law said he liked it too. D-Rock says, I like the topic display. Great. Awesome, man. I thought of this last week. I contacted Madungus Creevy and I said, hey, man, I got an idea. What do you think? And he said, you know what? Let me go ahead and put something together and see if you like it. And he showed that to me earlier today before the show went live. And I'm like, dude, I like that. I like that. It keeps me focused too, because I'll look at the list and say, oh, I got another this. But I mean, even though I got my notes right here, I mean, I have them, paper clipped together. So it's not like I'm going to lose track. But I like this layout. I really like this. I think it's pretty cool. D-Rock says it's ESPN-esque. You know what? Maybe that's part of something that was stuck in my brain. I saw it. I don't know. Maybe that was Madungus's thing. I didn't actually think of the sidebar with the topics. I was thinking more along the line of the picture of a person and an a short comment about what the topic is. That was my thing. He's the one that added the bar, which I thought was pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So anyways, I'm glad D-Rock, I'm glad you like it. Rudy Torres, I'm glad you like it. All right, I'm going to keep it. It sounds good. I'm sorry, Madungus. It just means more work for you to have to delete those every time and add new ones. But, if you want to do something different, that's totally fine. Anyways, all right, next topic. Next comment. Millwall says, I moved because my wife and I have always been looking to move to St. Louis. Great, man. That's awesome. Wow. You were from London? I'm assuming London, England, not some city or town named London, which I don't even know about in the United States. But man, that's not only a big move physically, I mean, across the Atlantic, but holy smokes, dude, going from one country to another. I'll tell you what, man, that's right. London, England. Wow. That is a big jump, man. That's a big jump. That's fantastic. I mean, congratulations. I don't know if I can make a move like that going from one country to another. Whew. Well, welcome to the United States. Welcome to St. Louis. And one other last question regarding that, Millwall. Have you ever, before you moved to St. Louis, did you ever visit it? Did you go there, on vacation or something like that? And you said, hey, man, I really like this place. I think this would be a great place to live. I mean, if not, that's fine. But I'm just curious. I mean, I would probably assume that you would have had some type of insight as to the city and the location and things like that. Well, once again, Millwall, congratulations on your move to the United States, and wish you all the best, man. Wish you all the best in St. Louis. Absolutely. All right. Now, going to the topic, Sean Payton, the first one, says marking territory. Here we go. When Sean Payton joined the Broncos last season, he made it very clear that it was his way or the highway. Oh, baby, did he ever make that clear? I mean, right out of the gate. Payton kicked Wilson's quarterback. We're talking Russell Wilson. Payton kicked Russell Wilson's quarterback coach out of the facility, benched Russell Wilson the last 2 games of the season, and didn't like his social media post. Okay, well, he cleaned house, basically, is what Sean Payton did. Let me continue. Payton said, and I quote, "Just know we are working, but with less visibility on social media. There is probably in the first year where you are pissing on all the trees, and I'm probably guilty of that." Hopefully, end quote. Hopefully, Sean Payton has calmed down a bit this year. I never heard of that phrase, pissing on all the trees. Okay, must be a dog reference. I don't know what it is. But anyways, basically he was spitting vinegar. And he was really cleaning the house, so to speak, going in there with a bulldozer, not a broom and a dustpan. No, he went in with a bulldozer. He cleaned the house from top to bottom, just bulldozing it right out. Goodbye, Russell Wilson's coach. Goodbye, Russell Wilson's starting quarterback. Goodbye, Russell Wilson, period. Basically what he was doing. Now, does Justin Simmons fall under that category? I kind of think so. I kind of think there's some hidden things behind the scenes we don't see, we won't see, maybe never see, never know about, but just seems odd. And I'm going to get to that in just a minute. All right. Millwall says, yeah, I used to go as a child with my parents, and it's where I scattered their ashes. Oh, I sorry to hear that, that you went to St. Louis under one of those situations where you had to say goodbye to your parents. But, well, that's good, man. At least you got to see the city and you're familiar with it, and maybe the outskirts of St. Louis per se and that kind of thing. So, I'm glad to hear that from that perspective. Just sad about your parents. I know it's probably a tough time, but I'm glad that you're there where you want to be. And, like I said, welcome to the United States. And then Millwall continues and says, when I was struggling with money, I found you live with the Broncos, played the Chiefs, and you made me feel so welcome. I found your live. I found your live when the Broncos played the Chiefs. Awesome. That is so awesome, man. Well, I really do appreciate it. Millwall, it's just different ways people find the show, different ways people, like different shows. Really do appreciate the fact that you latched on and enjoy the neighborhood shows, as well as this show and other shows on the MHRT network that you may be watching. Really do appreciate it. Thank you again so much, Millwall. Means a lot, man. Means a lot. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's go to the second jackass of the week. Here we go, guys. Okay, guys. Terry Bradshaw. Pittsburgh Steelers, former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, Super Bowl champion, all that. He rips John Elway basically a new one. And this bothers me. It bothers me because it shows an ugly side to Terry Bradshaw. Now, I don't know the guy personally. I've never met him. I don't really care to. But, you know, to say things and rip somebody for reasons why they do certain things that you may not agree with doesn't necessarily mean you have to throw barbs. You don't necessarily have to do that. I don't know where this came from. I don't know why it reared its ugly head now. But let me get into it. Here it is. Terry Bradshaw spoke out about John Elway not wanting to play for the Colts in 1983. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with what happened in 1983, a lot of you guys might not have watched football then, might not have been Bronco fans, no, whatever. Anyways, John Elway was drafted by the then, was it Indianapolis? Yeah, it was Indianapolis, by the Indianapolis Colts. Okay. Now, Jim Irsay, apparently, John Elway did not like Jim Irsay. He didn't like the ownership of the Colts. Didn't like them. Maybe 83 was when they were still in Baltimore. Yeah, I think it was still in Baltimore in 83, if I'm not mistaken, because that was what, 40-some years ago? 39 years ago? Maybe they were. Anyways, it was the Colts and Jim Irsay, the ownership. John Elway didn't want to play for him. Basically, John Elway wanted to play for a warmer climate. He said he wanted to play on the West Coast. He went to Stanford. All that. Well, Denver's not really on the West Coast. But anyways, he didn't want to play for the Colts. But he also had an option. He played baseball and was really good at baseball. And so the Yankees gave him a not a scholarship. What's it called? They signed him. You know, they gave him an offer sheet signed to play for their minor league team, which he did because he didn't want to play for the Colts. And then after the year of playing with the Yankees, the Colts said, you know what? He's never going to play with us. He's never going to amount to playing, you know, for the Colts at all. So let's try and trade him. See if we can trade his rights. And then if he wants to play football, great. He'll be with another team. And that's how the Denver Broncos got John Elway. The Broncos made a solid bid, and John Elway left the Yankees in favor of the Denver Broncos and the NFL. And the rest is history. So let me get to that topic. Here we go. Or continue with the topic, I should say. Bradshaw believes that the draft is there to benefit the worst teams and players shouldn't be able to make demands to go elsewhere. That is what the draft is for. But John Elway wasn't any regular player. Okay, go back to what's the other Payton? Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. Okay, so Eli Manning didn't want to play for the Chargers. He said, no way, I ain't playing for that organization. How come Bradshaw isn't blasting Eli Manning? How come? Because to me, Bradshaw has a chip on his shoulder for Elway. I don't know why. I don't have any reason to know why. But why didn't he throw Eli Manning the same freaking, barbs? Why didn't he rip Eli Manning? Just went after Elway. Interesting. Let me continue. Bradshaw said, and I quote, Elway, didn't want to go to a team that needed his services. Elway said, I'm still quoting Bradshaw, is now quoting Elway. Elway said, I don't want to do that. So to me, that is a slap in the face to the draft and the entire NFL. Okay? That's what Bradshaw said. He's saying it's a slap in the face of the draft. No, it's not. It's not a slap in the face of the draft. Elway had a second career he could have gone to, and he did for a year. So how is that not acceptable, Bradshaw? Huh? How come? He had a choice. Do I play for the NFL and the Colts? No, I don't want to. Oh, but I can play for the Yankees because they drafted me too. So I'll go play for the Yankees. What is wrong with that? If a person has two different job possibilities, you're going to take the one that benefits you the best. He was drafted by both teams. He chose the Yankees. So Bradshaw, why are you having, this hissy fit and little crybaby attitude because Elway didn't go to the Colts? You didn't play for the Colts, so what do you worry about? What does it matter to you? It shouldn't. Doesn't matter to me. You know, I was glad Elway didn't go to the Colts. Why? Because he ended up on the Broncos. That's why. But the point I'm trying to make is if you only have a profession that you can do really well at, and you don't want to play for that team a la Eli Manning, then that's a different story. To me, that's a different story. Bradshaw should have been picking on Eli Manning and not John Elway. Am I irritated about this because it is John Elway, and Elway is a Bronco and two-time Super Bowl champion as a player and a third one as a GM? Yeah, because Elway was on the Broncos, and he's one of the favorite quarterbacks that I like. Sure, it hits home. But the point I'm trying to make is simply this. If you have two different professions that you are good at, you choose the one that benefits you the best. And the baseball in 1983 benefited Elway the best. Not the Colts, but the Yankees. Okay? There's a big difference, Terry. Hey, get it through your freaking thick head. It's a difference. I continue. Still quoting Terry Bradshaw. I could have said, I don't want to go to Pittsburgh. It's ugly. Oh, he slammed Pittsburgh. It's ugly. Well, I bet that went over well. It's ugly and it's cold, and I want to be close to my mama. I want to be close to my mama. Okay. But you win anyways because that was your choice. You didn't have a second profession. That's the reason. That's the point, Terry. That's the point I'm actually making. And you just walked right into it. You went to Pittsburgh. You didn't say why. You went to Pittsburgh because you didn't have a second profession. You didn't have a second talent. You didn't have a second ability. That's why you went. Sure, you won Super Bowls and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so what? You went. Great. Good for you. John Elway won Super Bowls too. He was in a lot of Super Bowls. Yep, didn't win them all, but he was in them. Won 2 of them in a row, in case you forgot. Super Bowl 32, 33, 97, 98. Yeah, exactly. So, Terry, get off your high horse, okay? Pick on somebody that is equal to you because Elway's above you. He had 2 professions, and he chose the one that benefited him the best at the time. Okay, let me continue. Bradshaw goes on and says, but I didn't. I went to Pittsburgh, unlike Elway and the Colts. End quote. I'm not even going to comment on that. Not even going to comment on it. There's no comment needed. I already stated why he chose the Yankees. So, Terry, get off your high horse. Pick on Eli Manning or throw barbs at Eli Manning because Eli Manning didn't do what you're claiming Elway didn't do, but Eli didn't have a second profession like John Elway did. John Elway is multi-talented. Quarterback and baseball player. And he chose baseball. And when the Colts let him go, he went back to football. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. If I have an opportunity to have 2 different jobs and I'm choosing one, I'm choosing one that's best for me and my family. And then if the opportunity opens up the door and I want to go to the other, then I will. That's happened before in the jobs I've had, in the career I had. Absolutely it did. So it's no different. It's no different. Terry, just admit it. You didn't have a second profession, and that's why you went to Pittsburgh. Say what you want. You can say, well, I was drafted by Steelers, so I wasn't going to let them down. They wanted me to be a quarterback, blah, 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 whatever. Make it all up. But the real bottom reason that you went to Pittsburgh because you got drafted and you had no other profession to fall on if you didn't want to go to Pittsburgh. You even said you wanted to be close to mama. Pittsburgh's ugly. Those are your words, dude, not mine. You said Pittsburgh's ugly. I've never been to Pittsburgh. I wouldn't know. You said it's cold. Well, of course it's cold, dummy. It's northeast. Come on, man. Hey, if you had a second profession, second career, second ability, perhaps you would have done what John Elway did. So I don't fault John Elway. I fault you, Terry Bradshaw, for picking on Elway for no particular reason. Okay? Yeah, my bias, absolutely. Another reason why I can't stand the Steelers. God, I hope we beat them this year, especially with Russell Wilson at the quarterback. Okay, back to the comments. After I got all wound up, man. Let's see. D-Rock says, D-Rock says he's going to throw a shout out to Millwall. I agree, man. Absolutely. That's totally cool, man. Love it. Rudy says we all have our bad days, Bill. Hey, I'm not having a bad day. I'm having a great day. D-Rock says, Big Bill's ripping Terry Bradshaw a new one. You got that right. Well, think about it. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I don't think so I am. If I'm wrong, you guys throw it at me. Say, hey, Bill, Bronco Bill, I think you're going a little bit harsh. Nope. Period. So, but yeah, I am ripping him a new one. And thanks for the big shout out there, D-Rock. I love it. Love it. All right. We will back out of the Jackass of the Week, and we will go on to the next topic right All right, guys. Look who's back. Absolutely. Greg Dulcich. Man, I just don't know if he can be healthy. That's my fear. I just don't know if he can be healthy and stay on the field. I mean, once you start getting hamstring issues, things like that, I mean, you could just be running down the field, making a normal cut, and all of a sudden, boom, there it goes. So we'll see. Here we go. When Broncos hit the field for the start of training camp this past Wednesday, 2 days ago, Greg Dulcich was with them and not on the PUP list, which again stands for physically unable to perform, all right, or play, all right? Sean Payton was pleased to have Dulcich with his talent back on the field. Of course, we all are. The question is, can he stay on the field? That's the question. It's just the first day of camp, and he will have to prove himself that he can stay on the field. Absolutely. That's always the question when it comes to Greg Dulcich. Guys, great talent, great ability, but if your legs are not working like they should, the rest of the equation is moot point. I mean, if you can't run in the NFL, you ain't playing in the NFL, period. Right? But for now, he seems to be healthy for the first time in a very long time. Absolutely. I am glad he's back at practice. Just take it easy. Don't force anything. I don't know. I haven't heard all that about, injuries. If you have a certain type of injury, is it easier for it to reoccur again? I've heard that hamstrings are somewhere along that line, that if you pull it once or tear it once or something, that it's easier to do again. Well, that's with a lot of things. It's with a lot of things. If you tear an ACL, you're basically not going to be the type of person you were before. Okay, just look at Terrell Davis after he tore his ACL, and that's only one. He only tore one, just the ACL. Whereas Javonte Williams, like I mentioned earlier in a topic, in the second topic, Javonte Williams tore his ACL, his MCL, and his LCL or something like that. 3 different ones. So when that occurs, he has a much greater chance of re-injuring again. Now, I've also heard that if you have an injury of that nature, that the way modern medicine is today, they can pretty much bring it back to 100%, if not better. Now, I'm just saying, I mean, better than what God can do. I mean, I'm just saying. But, just having those type of injuries, you can risk the chance of it hurting or tearing or injuring beyond the point of where you can't return to the way you were. So I don't know if Javonte Williams is going to be able to come back. But when it comes to Dulcich with this hamstring, I don't know the severity of it. But ever since he's been on the Broncos, he's had this type of injury. And he hasn't played an entire season, his entire time on the Broncos. He hasn't played a full season. Man, I sure hope this is different. I sure hope he's able to play a full season. I'm hope he's past all of this. We won't know until preseason, hopefully into the regular season, and I hope he stays healthy. We need Dulcich. Love the guy. Great hands, great player, great routes, great blocking ability. Although he needs to work on that from what I understand as well too. But, I'm glad he's back. Just my question is, for how long? That's the question. How long will Dulcich be instrumental in the Broncos offense going forward this year? Hopefully all 18 games. But me personally, I have my doubts. Because we haven't seen it yet. And that's the thing that bothers me the most. But I mean, with having Caden Stearns and the ones I mentioned that were on the PUP, we can't afford to have injuries early in the season, or we can't afford to have injuries, period. All teams do, but it's the severity of the injuries. Are they out for the season? Are they out for a very extended length of time? Those injuries we cannot afford to have. We've had them the past 7 years, and Broncos haven't been much of anything. Absolutely not much of anything. Okay, D-Rock talking about Dulcich says, if Dulcich nets 1,000 yards and 8 TDs, does that garnish a new contract or more draft ammo? Wow, that is a very, very good question, D-Rock. Great question. I would have to say, if Dulcich nets 1,000 yards and 8 TDs, they definitely have to give him a new contract, because he doesn't get 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns if he doesn't play a full season. And if he plays a full season, then that means he's past the hamstring issues. If that's the case, then you got to keep him on the team. Because if you don't and let him go for draft picks or whatever, and he goes to another team and has a fantastic standout rest of his career, then the Broncos are going to look like idiots. But if he doesn't get 1,000 yards, he doesn't get 8 TDs because he's injured again, then I say, no, it's damaged goods. But then again, you're out of catch-22, because if he's damaged goods, nobody's going to want to trade for him. I mean, who would want to trade for a guy who can't stay on the field? So to your point, maybe they do. Maybe they look at it and go, hey, you know what? He had a fantastic year. He had 1,000-yard receiving, 8 touchdowns. We gotta what's the word I'm looking for? We gotta strike while the iron's hot. That cliche. We gotta strike while the iron's hot, meaning if he's having a great season, maybe now is a good time to trade him, because we can get high value, high draft picks. So it's like a catch-22, D-Rock. I really don't know what the answer would be. I'm assuming the Broncos would pony up and garnish and give him a new contract. But then again, it's a chance you take. It's an absolute chance you take. But if he doesn't play the entire season, I don't think he ever will. If it's a hamstring issue, and it rears its ugly head again. Yeah, I just don't know. D-Rock follows up by saying, I think he's gone. So you're saying if he has 1,000 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns, you think, D-Rock, that the Broncos would trade him to get value? Very well could. Very well could be. And I would believe that would have to be the reason, because you don't want to take a chance of him getting injured again and that not having any value at all. That makes a lot of sense. Makes it absolutely a lot of sense. So I'd have to agree with you on that, D-Rock. But then again, do I want Dulcich gone? No, I don't. If he has a season like that, 1,000 yards, 8 TDs, I don't want him gone. I really don't, because that means he could do it again the following year, or he could get injured again. That is a question that management's got to make, not me. That comes from Greg Penner. Well, it probably could come from Greg Penner. It comes from George Payton, that's for sure, as well as Sean Payton. But Sean Payton likes Dulcich, So we'll just have to see, D-Rock, what happens down the road. For sure. D-Rock all follows up by saying draft ammo. Well, like I said, very, very well could be. I just don't know. None of us will know until we get into the season and see where Dulcich is. Is he on the field? Is he on IR? Don't know. But hopefully he's on the field. All right. Listed is the last topic, which is not necessarily the case. I got one more after Courtland Sutton. But Courtland Sutton gets paid. Not a lot, but enough to keep him happy, so to speak, on the team. Let me get into that. The Denver Broncos have tweaked Courtland Sutton's contract. Sources told ESPN yesterday Sutton has had $1.5 million in incentives added to his base salary, therefore making this coming season his contract worth $13 million. Okay? Sean Payton said, and I quote, "It's good to have him back out here. He provides leadership as well as a skill set that we all like," end quote. I agree. I never wanted Courtland Sutton gone, especially when we traded Jerry Jeudy to the Cleveland Browns. I didn't want Sutton gone. No way, shape, or form. We have Tim Patrick back. That's fantastic. We've got Mims. That's fantastic. We've got Dulcich, which seems to be healthy, like I mentioned last topic. And we got Courtland Sutton. Okay? Now, Courtland Sutton has those incentives. Don't know what they are. Wasn't listed. Could be catches. Could be yardage. Could be touchdowns. Could be a lot of things. I don't know what those are. But he's getting $1.5 million in incentives, which makes his base salary increased to $13 million this year instead of 11.5. So that's good. That's good. But is Courtland Sutton still going to want more money? What if he has a fantastic breakout? Not breakout per se, but another fantastic season like last year, but increases it. He got 10 touchdowns, the highest amount of touchdowns he's had in his career. What if he gets 11? What if he gets 12? What if he gets 1,500 yards receiving, 1,800 yards receiving? What if? Does he stay? Does he ask for more? Do we go down this rabbit hole again that we've been down with Courtland Sutton this whole offseason? I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out. But first off, it's going to be interesting to find out if he can sustain what he did last year and put it into this year. Those 10 touchdowns, those magnificent catches on a 50-50 ball, ridiculous catches with his hands and is keeping his feet in bounds. Or is he going to have to do those catches? Remember, Russell Wilson was the one throwing to him. And Russell Wilson can't see over 3'5". Now, we got Bo Nix or Stidham or Zach Wilson that could be the starting quarterback, or one of them will be. And are they going to be making those throws that Wilson did? Or are they going to be more accurate? Are they going to be more timing where he doesn't have to have a 50-50 ball? Sure, there's going to be times where he's going to have them. But does that mean all the time? Like basically last year? I don't think so. Again, I don't know. We haven't seen preseason. I don't know any of this. When we see preseason, we'll have a better idea. I'm just going off of what I've seen last year. And I don't want to see Courtland Sutton have to fight for those 50-50 balls 90% of the time, or trying to keep his feet in bounds along the sideline with fantastic catches. Yes, those are amazing catches, and we as fans love to see those. But I'm not too convinced. That that's what I want to see all the time. No, I don't want to see that all the time. So which Courtland Sutton are we going to see? The one who deserves the $1.5 million in incentives and proves that he's capable of that and gets that money? Or do we see a Courtland Sutton that the Broncos were thinking, we're not going to go down that road and give him all that money. We want to wait and see. We're not going to make that mistake again like we did with Russell Wilson and give all that money up front. We'll give a little bit, $1.5 million of incentives, and we'll see where that takes Courtland Sutton and if it motivates him enough to be as good as last year or better. Okay? I mean, it's up to Courtland Sutton. It's in his court now. No pun intended. But he's the one with the ball now. He's the one that's got to make it happen. And I believe he can. I just don't know if there's enough footballs to go around for Courtland Sutton and Dulcich and Mims and Patrick and, the running backs, whether it's Javonte Williams, P. Ryan, or, the young guns that they got that the Broncos are definitely high on. I don't know. I don't know if there's enough balls to go around. Are there going to be enough touchdowns that the Broncos get this year combined where Courtland Sutton can get 10 or 11 or 12? How about Dulcich? D-Rock mentioned earlier that what if Dulcich gets 10 touchdowns? Okay. Well, if he gets 10 touchdowns, it's 8 touchdowns. If he gets 8 touchdowns and Courtland gets 10, that's 18 right there. How many touchdowns do the Broncos score this season? Is it going to be like last season where it was a struggle? I don't know. So I don't know if a Courtland Sutton can duplicate what he did last year. I just don't know if the Broncos are going to be putting up, 17 points a game, or they're going to be putting up 31 to 38 points a game. I don't know. So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. Every season's been interesting since 2015. That is for sure. Holy smokes. No doubt about it. All right. Now, the last topic takes me back to Sean Payton. If you notice on the chart to your right, it says Sean Payton. The first one is making territory. We already did that topic. Now it's naming a starter. So here is the last topic of today's show with Payton, involving Sean Payton. Before we get that, let's get to the comment. D-Rock says, we're drafting a tight end high next draft. Ooh, man. I don't know, D-Rock. I don't know. Do you take a tight end in the first round? I mean, I don't know. That, to me, would be interesting. Take a tight end. I mean, remember, we took Dulcich just a couple of years ago, and everybody was high on him. And I was, too. I like the kid out of UCLA. I really do. I really like this kid. It's unfortunate that he's, injury prone year after year after year. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure if that would be a smart move in the first round. But hey, if you get your guy, the one you want to get, and he's high on your list, why not? Why not? Absolutely. Oh, John Leon is in the chat. What's up, John? Nice to see you, my friend. I do know the Broncos never beat the Las Vegas Raiders. They haven't beaten the Raiders in years. Absolutely haven't beat them in years. Although we beat them last year, one game. But, I know Broncos haven't beaten anybody, to tell you the truth, John. Broncos haven't beaten hardly anybody in the last 7 years. So that's not surprising to me. Not surprising at all. We can't seem to we beat the Chargers. We beat the Chiefs. No, we did not. We did not beat the Raiders. That's right. We did not beat the Raiders last year. We beat the Chargers and we beat the Chiefs. Those two I didn't think we would. To your point, you're right. I don't think we've beaten the Raiders since, 1903? Something like that? Seems like forever. It's just I can't remember the last time we beat them, to tell you the truth. But that's a very good point. Very good point, John. All right. Last topic, like I mentioned, is Sean Payton on naming a starter. Well, not so fast. Not so fast. Sean Payton isn't ready to name Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham or Zach Wilson as the starter. Okay? And we all know that he said it's a quarterback competition and all that. And I would agree with it. I've mentioned it many, many times, and I'll say it again. I just want the best quarterback under center when Denver plays Seattle in week 1. I don't care who it is. It could be Sean Payton. I'm sorry. It could be Jarrett Stidham. Or it could be Sean Payton. I don't care if he's better than the other three. But it could be Stidham. It could be Zach Wilson. It could be Bo Nix. I just don't want the Broncos to rush into putting Bo Nix as a starting quarterback if he's not ready. Okay? I've said it many times, and I've said it until I'm blue in the face. Bronco blue, that is. Until I'm Bronco blue in the face. Let me continue. Payton has said it's a quarterback competition. Absolutely. However, last Wednesday, 2 days ago, it was Stidham with the starters to open up Wednesday. It was Stidham, not Bo Nix, not the number one draft, or not the first round draft pick of the Broncos, number 12. Nope, not Bo Nix. Jarrett Stidham. Why? In my opinion, it's because Jarrett Stidham has the most NFL experience of the three under Sean Payton. Now, Zach Wilson has the most NFL experience in games. Bo Nix has the most experience at quarterback of college at 61 games. But Jarrett Stidham has the most experience in the NFL with Sean Payton. He started on Wednesday. He was there at the quarterback with the starters on Wednesday. Okay, let me continue. And Nix on Thursday was the quarterback with the starters. Where is Zach Wilson? Okay, where's Zach Wilson? Well, that was a question that was asked. Okay, here we go. When asked about today's practice, being Friday, this Friday, when asked about today's practice, Payton said, and I quote, "We'll keep you filled in how we do. That will happen day by day." End quote. Asked again if Wilson would get his turn today, Friday, Sean Payton said, and I quote, "I said I would fill you in and we'll see how it goes. I'll fill you in when you see who is with the starters." End quote. Wow. Sean Payton did not like that question. Does that mean he doesn't like Zach Wilson? I don't know. Most likely not. But it's interesting that it was Jarrett Stidham to open up training camp with the starters on Wednesday. Again, reason being, in my opinion, he has the most experience with Sean Payton. That's obvious of the three quarterbacks. Bo Nix was yesterday, Thursday. Why? Well, he was the draft choice of the Broncos at number 12 in the first round. So, of course, he's going to get the start with the starters. But when asked about Zach Wilson, Sean Payton was reluctant to answer. And he didn't. He says, "I'll tell you when you see him. I'll fill you in when you see who's the starter on Friday. I'll fill you in." Well, there you go. He's not saying who it's going to be. He didn't say who it was going to be. I have no idea who it was today. I didn't get that info today. So it's interesting that it was Stidham on Wednesday, Nix on Thursday, and Mum on Friday. Not saying a word. Not saying a word who he thought it was going to be. Now, I go back to what I've said many, many times. I don't care who the starting quarterback is for the Broncos, as long as we get wins. But with Stidham opening up training camp as the quarterback under center with the number one starters, kind of raises eyebrows. Is Bo Nix being held back a little bit because he's not grasping it? It's too unfamiliar, the verbiage or whatever. Like I said, Stidham was there last year. He started the last two games for the Broncos. He won one, he lost one. Beat the Chargers, lost to the Raiders. So is it possible that Stidham is a little bit ahead of Bo Nix and a lot ahead of Zach Williams? Possibly, absolutely. Why would Stidham start first if that wasn't the case? Or is Sean Payton trying to see, with Stidham leading off the practice with the starters on Wednesday and Nix on Thursday, is he trying to see if Stidham can outperform Bo Nix since he went first? Or is he trying to see if Bo Nix watched Stidham to open up practice, maybe get a little bit of the butterflies out of the stomach, kind of take a deep breath, so to speak, and then work him easily into Thursday. I don't know. I don't know what the game plan was or the reason why. It just caught me off guard. That was very interesting that it was Stidham who started out practice on Wednesday and not Bo Nix. Does that mean Bo Nix may not be the starter? Possibly. Does it mean that Zach Wilson is not going to be on the Broncos, maybe on the practice squad? Possibly. But does it mean that Jarrett Stidham now has a leg up as a possible starting quarterback against Seattle? Or is Sean Payton playing a chess game? Well, Sean Payton is known to do crazy things. Who knows? Who knows? All I do know is that it's interesting, and we will find out more as we go down the road towards towards preseason, towards practices with the other teams before we play. I think it's the 49ers. No, Packers. It's the Packers that we're going to have a scrimmage with. We'll find out more as we get closer to all of those days. We're getting closer to preseason, guys. August is next week. Next Friday will be my first Friday show in August of 2024. We're getting closer to preseason, guys. We will find out a heck of a lot more as we get closer. All right. Go back to the comments. Virginia Hernandez, nice to have you in the chat. Thanks so much for chiming in. She says the Chiefs. Okay, absolutely. The Chiefs, we don't beat them either. I mean, we only beat them one time last year, which is impressive. I never saw that coming. Never saw that coming. But when it comes down to the last, 7 years, eight years, whatever, last umpteen games we played and haven't beaten the Chiefs, yeah, the Chiefs are the dominant team right now in the entire NFL. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I'm not even gonna try and say that they're not, because I'd be lying. That wouldn't be what I stand for on this show, and that is, bring honesty. Try to bring it the truth. Try to bring it honest. I don't play favorites. I don't sugarcoat anything. I bring it as it is, and I'm not that kind of guy who's just going to say, no, Chiefs suck, Raiders suck, Chargers suck, and I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not. And the show is not that. I'm going to bring whatever is legit, real, and truthful. Like I say about my show, brought to you with honesty, passion, emotion, passion, honesty, and my comments as well as yours. That's exactly what this show is. Virginia, thanks so much for chiming in. Really do appreciate it. Thanks to each and every one of you guys for being in the show. Take this off here. For being a part of the show. I hope you guys like the new format with the overlay. This one right here on the right side that lists all the topics. Really hope you guys like that. I like the way it looks. It adds flavor to the show. That way you guys can follow along and see where we are and jump around if need be. If you see something you want to talk about, a different topic than what we're on, you get to see what the topic is. You can bring it up. I really like this format. I think it works out really well. I'm gonna talk to Madungus Creevy, maybe kind of tweak it just a little bit with the picture up in the left-hand corner, make it a little bit bigger, so you guys can see that. So I'll work with him on that. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so very, very much for being in the chat. I'm going to go down the list and name every single one of you, because if you guys take the time on a busy Friday night with the weekend right in front of you and being summertime and busy and all of that, vacations, the whole bit, I can take the time to acknowledge each and every one of you for being in the chat. All right. First and foremost, what came in was Madungus Creevy batting leadoff. Then my brother-in-law from Vegas, Rudy Torres, batting second. And then we had Millwall from St. Louis, who lived in London, England, prior to moving to St. Louis, batting third. Thank you so much, Millwall, for chiming in. D-Rock batting cleanup, batting fourth. Really do appreciate it, D-Rock. Thanks so much for being in the chat, as always. And then we got John Leon, and he's batting fifth. And then we wrap it up with Virginia Hernandez batting sixth. Really do appreciate it, guys and gal, thank you so very, very much for being in the chat. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button on the way out. It does the network and my channel, Broncos Breakdown on YouTube, a tremendous boost when other people see that you like the show, you like the content, you like the way it's presented, and any or all of the above. Really do appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe button. That definitely helps out the channel. Lets other people know that you like the show as well. So those two things I ask that you would do, please click it. Both of them. It takes a millisecond, just a click of the mouse, and no cost whatsoever to you. Really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so, so very much. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Like I mentioned, if you have not, please do so. It means a lot. You guys are the best each and every Friday. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the chat. New people, familiar names. I really appreciate it. You guys take the time to be involved and part of the show. Like I said, really do appreciate it, guys. Until next Friday, first Friday in August, I will, wait a minute. That's the 2nd. I won't be doing it. I'm sorry, guys. I will not be doing next Friday, the 2nd. I will be doing Saturday, the 3rd. Reason being is I'm going to a Padre Rockies game in San Diego with my son and grandson on Friday night. So there's no way that I can do the show prior to the game. So I will be doing that show on Saturday. So once again, not this coming Friday, the 2nd, but Saturday, the 3rd. Excuse me. That's when I will be doing my next show. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. And we will see you next Saturday night, not next Friday night. Till then, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We will talk to you then. Take care. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute. Work hard for the car, so that's why it's all